Hello, everyone. How are we all doing today? We all good? Today, I have the honor of having two absolutely awesome people on my stream. Please welcome from Sneaky Zebra, Nick Acott and Gary Scullion. So, let me just. There we go. Hello, guys. How are you guys doing? You good?
Yeah.
Unmute, yes.
All good, all good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is absolutely like I can't get again. Like we were just discussing it now, but I still can't get over the fact that I've got Sneaky Zebra on my live stream. Like it just blows my mind. It just blows my mind.
I probably should mute my phone there before that beeps anymore.
Before it goes all the time. But yeah,
yeah, I'm tuning in live from the helicarrier, as you can tell by
yeah,
my
from the helicarrier.
authentic
How are you
background.
doing that? Like, how are you doing that? Have you got a green screen?
No, I'm a helicarrier. I've got one
of
parked.
course.
You know,
He also forgot to change his background from last time.
I'm going through a level of superhero layers because
You
basically
did the Batcave the other day. That was the weird
yeah.
one.
Batcave, yes, I love that. Yeah, exactly.
Interestingly,
Artemis
finding good
Blackfire, we
pictures
have
from
celebrities. Yes, celebrities. Exactly.
Where?
that's
in
a bold
in the
claim.
Are they coming?
cosplay.
That's not true.
You've got Pepe in the background of your shot. That's the celebrity.
I have a Porg, I have a Pepe, and I have a Stormtrooper helmet.
Hell yeah.
That are filling my empty shelves.
Hey, it's more shelves than I have. Thus the helicarrier.
I literally have just my shelf of stuff and spray cans and foam and bits. That's all. Because I'm in my workshop. It is cold, by the way. I'm not even joking. It is actually quite cold in my workshop today.
Yeesh.
Right. Okay. So what I've got is I've got a bunch of questions on my little clippy board. I've got my Ghostbusters clipboard. This is my list of questions for you guys. We'll probably go off on a million tangents, but you know we'll we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I guess.
Oh, I mean, it's us. We're going off on tangents.
Oh yeah. There's also, I mean, as you guys were saying just now, like if I do happen to bring up the MCM story for the 1000th time, just let me know and just shut me up and I'll stop. Okay, so
Iron within, iron without.
thank you so much for the follow, Sneaky Zebra.
Just
Hell yeah, Sneaky Zebra, follow me now, and it's there. It's on stream. It's there. That is absolutely awesome. So, all right, okay. First question I have to ask you guys, right? How did it all start? Like, how did you go from just sort of your day job stuff to Sneaky Zebra to doing cosplay music videos to
Well, to doing cosplay video videos and how Sneaky Zebra started is probably two very different stories.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, Sneaky Zebra, we started in what, like 2011? I think just tail end of 2010.
yeah, probably end of 2010.
Yeah. I think
we
our
made
first,
a terrible Christmas movie at the end of one of those years.
Yeah.
That's when Sneaky Zebra was born.
yeah.
I like that. Terrible Christmas movie, and then Sneaky Zebra was born.
I mean, it's terrible in many ways.
But it was started for kind of several reasons, really. There's not like one specific one. I mean, one of the big ones was Gary wanted to make shit.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Because we had, like, what happened is I went to film school. In film school, you learn to do a bunch of different things. So you'd like, I'm an editor, but you learn to do camera and you learn to do sound. You learn to do all these other roles. You come out of it, and part of it was like, well, I learned how to do all these things. I should probably keep doing them. So I'd met another guy, Pete, who used to do videos with us, working on something for the BBC. So like me, Nick, and Pete set up a little like video thing that was called, was it Firefly?
Firefly Productions, which I think there's now 1,000 versions of.
Everybody.
It's a go-to name.
Productions. I like that name. That's a nice name.
But yeah, we were doing that for a little while, filming stuff with Pete. We made like a web series that never got released.
We did a couple of corporate gigs, which was quite fun to do. They were cheesy as hell.
Oh yeah, we did ones for like the
NUS.
Yeah, the NUS thing.
Yeah.
The students drinking and stuff.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I forgot about
They're
that.
cringy. They are cringy, but they got circulated for like 3 years in the NUS.
You know, the NUS, they don't let money go to waste. So yeah, we were kind of doing that, and then Pete went off to be a family man, and we decided we didn't want to grow up.
No, who needs to grow up? Who needs to grow up? Like, I mean.
So like we were just like, oh well, then okay, we'll just figure a way of making stuff, but we didn't want to use the same like banner that we'd been making stuff under, because it just seemed like whenever it wasn't the three of us, there was no point keeping that one going. And then we decided to make a new one and came up with Sneaky Zebra,
Which the day we decided to do that, I think like we were both. Well, I was having a drink after work playing Xbox Live with Gary. I don't know if you were drinking. I was drinking, which is why I think I found it hilarious.
I think we were playing Halo Reach.
Was it Reach or was it Crackdown?
Oh,
it was like around that time,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Halo Reach, bringing back the memories.
It was one of those we're just sitting there like on headset, like chatting to each other, trying to come up with a name for the thing. And I started using a random name generator because that's what you do when you hit the real bottom of the barrel of I can't come up with a name. Is random company name generators, and it came up with a bunch. And one of them was like Sneaky Giraffe or something like a Sneaky Squirrel or something like that. And then it came up with something else. And I like the word sneaky. And then the word zebra came up on one of them. And we were like, oh, sneaky zebra. That doesn't. People will remember it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, because that's literally one of the questions I had was who came up with it. But you're saying a random name generator and your drunkenness over Halo Reach came up with the name Sneaky
that's
Zebra.
Pretty much.
Pretty much the origin of the name is that we were just clicking through and then we found these two words we liked when you put them together. And it was like, okay, there's a name.
There you go.
I mean, I remember
Zebra.
not being able to stop laughing at it because I think some of the other names was like I remember
There was
Abominable
Jazzy
Ostrich.
Squirrel.
Jazzy
Jazzy
Squirrel was going to be our
Squirrel.
second channel, wasn't it?
Jazzy
Adopting that one for the
Squirrel.
second channel.
I will point out to anybody that this wasn't like a name generator that was like funny animal names. It was a name generator that was like company name generator. So
Yeah.
it was suggesting these as actual company names.
Oh.
Someone would
We
pick.
went through all the boring ones like Incorporated and all the really like stereotypical business names.
And we did the thing of doing what everybody does, like, oh, I'll try and come up with like a geeky thing to do. And we were like, Stark, no, this, no, like that, like all these like really obvious things that were just like, well, that's what we did last time with Firefly, so let's not do that again.
Yeah. I think also like there was kind of Halo being a big influence. There was the Rooster Teeth guys, weren't there? Because Red versus Blue was pretty much their
Red
main
versus
thing at the
Blue,
time.
Like, hats off to Red versus Blue. I've been watching Red versus Blue since the beginning. Like,
Yeah. Same. We were saying to someone the other day, like I remember the days where you had to download the QuickTime to be able to watch it, like
you had
hosting.
to be able to watch them because one of my favorite pictures, and I actually still have it saved. One of my favorite pictures is it's not Gus. It's I keep forgetting I think he plays Church. I keep forgetting his real name. I know all the character names, but I keep forgetting their real names. It's him like doing a crying face next to a stack of Xboxes with different tape on all the controllers, and all the controllers are all taped up, and they've got a stack of TVs because that's how they used to do it, and it was just so amazing. Seeing what they've got now compared to what they had back then is just because watching them from the very beginning, and then when they made the website, and then joining the website, it was just amazing.
Well, if you watch their old stuff where they literally went, we bought a flat, like a small little bungalow house, and all lived together, and like 3/3 of the house was just all recording equipment. And
the thing I still love is the old videos of like, we're going to do the lines, get into the cupboard. And just the little tiny cupboard with a microphone in it.
The Harry Potter
huddle in it.
voiceover booth.
Oh, honestly, the cupboard with absolutely, just like those Red versus Blue boys, just they blow my mind, and they're still funny today. That's why they haven't really changed much. They have gone a more story-based seriousness with the thing, but they haven't it's not so much as random as it was. But
Well,
so
I mean,
good.
saying about the kind of the fanboyness, we this weekend 2015 was San Diego Comic-Con because like I know all the Facebook stories are coming up reminding me.
God, I know which one you're gonna bring up now.
But we met Bernie Burns and who was the other one who was with him as well? And we were at the Nerdist party getting some stuff filming, and we said, "Do you want to be in our video?" And he went, "Oh, what do you do?" And we do like these slow-mo cosplay videos. He goes, "Oh yeah, I know you guys." And we're like, that was just like then trying to remain professional and carry on with that sentence of like, okay, cool, well, we'll do a pose. And at the same one, it's go, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah, there you go. You know that feeling you've got there? That was me when I met you guys at MCM. That's literally the feeling I had. So it was, there was me being like, try to stay, don't look like a moron, and then just go up and just shout it across the thing to you guys.
Yeah. I mean, we were in an area where we had a load of our peers as well because it was like the Nerdist. It was the paint, what was it, the laser tag area, wasn't it? But it was the green room side of it.
Was it whenever they did the activation for, and I'll never forget this, Battleborn, the game that just really wanted to be Overwatch, and just no one ever remembers it because it went on discount shelves pretty much before it came out.
Live Action Chair is in the chat, by the way, and also thank you, Artemis Blackfire, for the host there. And Live Action Chair is here, even though you're sat on him.
Follows around. I can't go anywhere without it.
I love that. Well, I mean, Gary has actually answered this one a little bit, but did you guys actually go to college or university to do what you do? I mean, I know you just said you went to actually go and learn how to do it. That's what you wanted to do. But did you do that as well? Or?
No. I mean, I was going to not answer that because mine's much less impressive. I always wanted to do photography, camera work, stuff like that. Effectively, I was at the time, I was never really kind of allowed to do anything like that at school. I was always forced to do very academic stuff, business studies, physics, maths, IT, that kind of thing. I got into finally a job that was kind of paying semi-well at the time, and I had a nice little bonus came through, and I just went out and bought the most expensive camera I could, stills camera, which was the Canon 450D at the time. I think it was like 500 quid. And my logic was like, fuck, I've just spent 500 quid on a camera. I've got to learn how to use it now.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, we got the 7D just as we were kind of, what was that, starting, that was like 2012, I think. Because we filmed a couple of videos on that exclusively, didn't we? At the time, Gary had like a Sony EX3.
Which was a massive camera.
Yeah.
Was it shoulder mounted or was it just a chunky?
It's. I mean, if some of our old behind the scenes videos you can see, because we used to shoot all the shorts on it, but like cons and stuff, you could not. It was just too heavy to like carry around for a day on that stuff. And it was like an $8,000 camera, so it was like, let's not put it on the.
$8,000.
Yeah,
that is a
back when video cameras were like, to get anything that shot remotely HD was expensive.
Question though, have you still got it?
No, I sold it. Basically, like my system was I would buy, my legacy of cameras is I dragged Nick into filming stuff. Way before we even did Firefly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, I dragged you guys into making a Ghostbusters fan film with me that I never finished.
Yeah.
Oh, you never finished it? No way.
No, this was like 2006, 2007.
Oh, man.
And,
there's a couple of very pretty shots though we got.
Yeah, I bought an XL2 Canon video camera that took mini DV tapes. And it was, I spent all the money I'd earned in my, I worked in IT recruitment, and I got a decent pay thing. I was like, okay, I'll get this camera. It was like $5,000. Considering now you can probably pick one up for about 300 quid. Yeah. But it was, it was really cool at the time. And I was like dragging around the film. And then whenever I was done with that, I was like, okay, I need to upgrade to the next one. I was like, sell that camera off to help finance
the next camera,
the upgrade. And that's pretty much been the system ever since. So everybody's like, oh, you must still have all the old cameras you guys used to use. Like, no, they're all gone.
What are you running now then? Are you running anything?
I have a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera at the moment, like the new, the 4K one that came out like a year and a half ago, which is amazing.
Such a great camera.
To the point where like I kind of got it on a whim. The first time we used it, we did cock up.
That's an interesting.
That's another story in itself. That was at a con. We messed up real bad.
I think we need to hear this. I think this is something we need to hear.
I mean, basically, Gary bought the camera. We weren't expecting to do San Diego last year, 2018, 2019. Was it last year we went? 2019.
Yeah, last year.
So we didn't expect to do last one until 3 days before the con. 2 days before the con, in terms of doing the video.
Yeah.
So Gary
I was going out on vacation, wasn't I? Yeah. So I was already going out, and then you found out like the day before San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
That like we managed to we got invited out by Legion M to come and do you guys want to make a cosplay video? We'll cover the cost of flights. And I was
wow.
Okay, amazing. Great. Like okay, we still have to cover everything else, but that's a massive.
It's a big chunk
off the thing, and I was already in the States when I got this camera, and I was like, Nick, there's a new camera, like if you can grab it before you go, and all the other camera gear because I brought nothing with me.
So literally, like the night before, I packed my bags, and then on that day, stopped off at Gary's just after the delivery man came, because I think you got it delivered like the day before as well, hadn't you?
Oh yeah, like it showed up like at 6 p.m. the day before.
So anyway, we flew out with it, and we used it once before. Oh, actually, no, we used its predecessor before, didn't we? Was it we used Lou's one slightly beforehand on Star Wars Echoes?
Yeah,
right?
so we'd had a little bit of experience with it, but like that was.
But we never used. The big thing was we never used the slow mo on Echoes.
Yeah.
Echoes was just shot in normal frame rates. So here's the thing: this camera is absolutely amazing. It's a 4K camera. It's relatively small, and it does do frame rates up to what was it, 190, 180?
I think it's 120 on that.
120 on that one.
Which
So
is like
so
really
you
good
film
slow-mo.
in slow mo. You don't film regularly and then slow it down.
No, we used to have to do that. So we used to do a trick that a lot of if anybody ever made videos with was it on the 7D I used to have to do it.
7D and the 5D and the
which they didn't have true slow mo. So what you do is you'd shoot it at 60 frames a second, which is a US TV frame rate.
Yeah.
And then you'd run it through a little piece of software that would trick the file into reading it at 25 frames a second. So it was just doubling up the amount of frames.
Oh,
and play
I
it
got
back
you.
at half
So then it
speed.
would, yeah.
Yeah. So then you're kind of fake. You are getting slow motion, but you have to trick it to do it. And then when we had the GH4, they'd invented new ways of doing it, which is you can shoot 100 frames a second, but at 25 frames a second. I mean, if you try and do the math on it, it starts to destroy your mind after a while. Trust me.
So we've got like some videos that are shot at like 96 frames we've got some that are shot at like 60 frames and 120 frames. But there's as the cameras have progressed, we've shot at various.
Well, I've watched probably all your cosplay music videos, and they are just the best. The slow mo that you get, the stuff that you get from people just standing there, and then you just see their coat flutter in the wind or their kind of stuff. It just looks you capture their cosplay just as it is in that moment. It's really nice.
Yeah,
it's really nice to see.
With the Black Magic one, this camera was new out, and I think there isn't very well documented. We actually only found out about the issue when we got home
because of a Reddit post.
Because of a Reddit post.
Oh, good old Reddit. Good old Reddit.
The same discovery that we did.
So basically, what it is if you imagine like that as the sensor on your camera.
Yeah.
And when you're shooting in 4K, and when you're shooting at a normal frame rate, it uses all that sensor, which was fine. What we didn't know is when you're shooting in a higher frame rate and you then have to shrink it down, you have to shoot the slow-mo at 1080p on that one, which is fine because it's for web, so we're not needing the 4K.
No.
What we didn't know is it's actually taking only a sample of that sensor. So it's only using 1/6 of the sensor rather than the whole thing.
That it gives you less quality. What it does is it makes that. So if you imagine like whenever we're shooting 4K, you're seeing what you're seeing, say in my frame right now of me.
Yeah.
When we put it in the 120, you'd be seeing this of me.
Just your
frame.
God.
And that's what you would think the frame is. So you got to imagine that at a con, if you've ever been to a con, anybody is claustrophobic and like tight. And imagine trying to get full body shots of people.
Yeah.
On this.
We're having to take huge steps backwards.
Oh man! So how did you solve that then? From the Reddit post, did it tell you how to fix it, or?
Well, we just stopped shooting in that frame.
Yeah, but we found that out at Sunday at 4 p.m. on the con. I think we only got like 2 shots in the proper.
And, I mean, a prime example of the like that not really being a problem is if anybody watches the last MCM video that we did in October. Is shot on the same camera, but we shot it without the same problems. It looks miles better than the San Diego video, just in terms of because it doesn't have those problems. And you will not notice that it's shot at like 80 frames a second instead of 120. Like it makes zero difference to watching it.
The MCM last year in October. Was that the one I was at, or was it the year before?
That might have been the one before,
wasn't it?
Because like last year.
I don't know
last year we went to MCM Comic Con and we never stepped foot inside the actual con.
Oh, yeah.
No, you guys were saying because right at the very end is when you guys actually got to go in and go around. And
yes, that is kind of the running thing. But I'm pretty sure in October we didn't even get to walk in.
Yeah,
I think we missed
missed
the last window to walk around the con because we were just so busy filming people.
Well, we just shot we had a busy week ahead of time, didn't we?
Oh, that was May.
That was the May one. Yeah, that's the one I'm getting confused with.
Yeah, October it was just the fact of because we were doing all these like big elaborate setups and stuff that you kind of we were shooting a sequence. We posted up a little behind the scenes thing the other week of where we're shooting this sequence of the boys cosplayers, and like it doesn't look like it, but that was like 3 hours that took us to do.
Yeah.
So whenever you go, that's just one section of the video we spent 3 hours like blocking out and doing. By the time we looked at a watch, it was like 6 o'clock.
Well, gotta go.
Because we've experimented in the past with like trying to work out what's the best way effectively to do a video. And like we've done ones where we filmed hundreds of people. Like I think there's one con where we had around about 450 shots of different people. And it just gets to a point where quantity doesn't equal quality. In terms of the shots. So we took some time this time around to try and do a little bit of the polar opposite of that and go, right, okay, well, let's spend, like you say, 3 hours on a sequence because then it's going to be as best as we can relative to the scenario and make it.
Because literally, because that is one of the questions I have is you shoot so many cosplayers throughout an entire day. How do you then pick the ones you want to put into the video? Because you obviously you can't. You said you can't really just slap them all in and then do it. But do you? Is there something you just do? Do you just take it as personal preference? Like I like that one. I like that one.
It's when it comes to like the editing. So whenever I have to go through the thing, like Nick has seen me kind of do this on like some videos where I kind of and ah a lot, and you will see like the first edit of the video, and there's like this cosplayer and this, but it's like it doesn't fit the music. Like what they're doing, like I was like, it's a really cool costume. I really like it, but we had the thing where we love and we're friends. We cut Yaya Han out of one of our videos because it just didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's like whenever anybody goes, oh, you cut me out because no one gets cut out because of like a preferential thing. It's literally what works for the video. So we've made like things that we've specifically gone out of the way to film for like an hour that just we get it in, it just doesn't cut.
Yeah.
And, it's that kind of thing of, coming from like film and TV stuff is one of the first lessons you learn is the M. Night Shyamalan called the kill your darlings moment of a thing, which is your favorite scene in a film is always the first scene to get cut.
Yeah.
And it's the same with cosplay videos. Whenever you're trying to do it is no matter how much you love certain things, you have to go, okay, this doesn't work. And as much as I like it, it just slows the video down or it messes up the flow and it's just awkward and, you just have to make like tough calls on stuff. But at the end of the day, it's always what's best for the video is what we kind of go for.
Exactly, because like we learn, at the end of the day, you've got those people who are watching it, and that's the end goal, that's the end product. People who are watching it are never going to know, what you did shoot or didn't shoot or anything like that. And
I guess the only people who would know are probably going to be the ones who are just looking for themselves in the video,
Yeah, which we do often like we'll have comments of people, being upset and it's like, okay, like we try to get as many people in as we can, but if we put everybody into it, everybody's gonna you'd literally watch and go, oh, well, this is just a bunch of shots.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuck to music.
Plus, there's no way there's going to be a track long enough. You'd have to cut the track and loop it perfectly to try to make the track longer.
Yeah, for what you might not know is that there's quite a few videos where Gary's already done that.
Oh yeah, probably. Pretty much every video we've done, the music track has been extended to try and get more in.
Yeah, so we try our absolute best to fit them in.
Because after MCM, I was literally at home refreshing YouTube occasionally, just like this. And then I think the song for that one was "Show Me What a Good Time Is." I don't know what the name of the actual song is. Show me what a good time is. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's Radical Something, right?
Really good song.
I don't know. All of our songs blur together now at this point.
Because that's actually a question I have: is where do you get your music from for your videos?
I mean, that is a tough thing in itself.
Because with YouTube and copyright and all this jazz and license-free music
we've always made sure 100% we have a permission or a license in place for a song, and we've had some that have gone really well and smoothly. Like Out of Sight's a good one because we've used him a few times.
Such a good one.
We contacted him over a couple of older songs that he had, and normally we try and reach out to like the band's manager or the band themselves because then they can point us in the direction of where their licensing rights are quite easily.
If you do it by YouTube, it just recommends like, oh, this is owned by this or it's distributed by this, but you don't get hold of anybody.
No. Yeah, exactly. And he turned around and said, I can't give you permission with that because it's the albums with, I think, Warner on him.
Yeah.
He said, however, I've got an album coming out soon that I'm now classed as an independent artist, and this is a self-publishing album. If you want to use any of those tracks, feel free. And there was a couple that stood out to us that were like, oh, these are going to fit really well. So we gave him a try. And we were in LA at the time, and he invited us over for coffee afterwards, didn't he? He was like, I love it. I love what you did. Just if you want to use any of my music moving forward, just let us know.
Yeah,
so good. It's so good to have that source of really good music.
Well, it's because we had the problem is if anybody like follows stuff that we've done, is you have the problem where you go, oh, this art is really cool, and you'll see us use them 3 or 4 times, and then we have this like weird habit of every artist that we like kind of collaborate with hits this point with like, I want to change up my sound and do something completely different.
They go completely the opposite direction to what you want.
Yep.
And they'll send us a music track and we're like, oh, this is really morbid. Like, we can't use this for a cosplay video. Like, this is really like sad music.
Yeah, because
like,
every song you've used is so upbeat and uplifting, and it's amazing. It's great.
Yeah, it's kind of like Nick knows the things. Obviously, like we've spent so much time on Spotify that like we kind of came up with like a rough guide to ourselves of like what we have to look for with various songs. It's insane.
The ones that do make me chuckle. I mean, the most nightmarish one, because we were due to use another song, and I think this was 2015 as well. What was the year we used Max?
Oh, you mean the year where I was having a literal like editing nervous breakdown in the Nerdist office?
And I think I was having a nervous breakdown just by proxy from you. So we had one track and the track just wasn't working. It was simple as that. It was a good track and it's fun, but it just, as Gary said, by the time we actually started putting footage towards it, it was like, nah.
It's not working.
So we had another couple of tracks that we had like in our like B list, but we hadn't done anything we're trying to search for. And
in your arsenal of music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, like we've got like a Spotify playlist that we share between each other. Like we add, oh, this one might sound good. We'll, maybe down the future we'll contact them.
I think it's a prime example of that one there is like San Diego, because some people will go, how long does it take to edit a video? And sometimes it can take forever to edit a video, depending on like how stuff turns out. Like there are some videos that we've shot that we like, the environment and everything and what we got, we just didn't like. And we're just like, okay, let's just not do a video for that as a thing. And like San Diego Comic-Con is always one where, there's a lot of energy that comes out of that con that you kind of, obviously everybody else gets like post-con blues and we're still kind of riding that train until the video comes out. And there's been a couple of them where I managed to get the video done in like 24 hours.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Like the con ended and I was editing in the hire car on the way back home to LA.
Yeah.
And then this one here, it was like 2 days in and I was just sitting there like, I can't get this to work. Like this song just, and Nick was like, no. And then like, there was like 3 guys in the Nerdist office that came to watch and went, oh yeah, this isn't very good, is it? And I was like, no, it's not working. And then Nick went, okay, we'll try one of the other 2 songs that we had in mind. And like, I started cutting to this song by Max. And like, I cut, all of a sudden, I had like a quarter of a video done in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is working way better. And then it became like a 2-day nightmare of dealing with.
Because I'm like, well, Gary, like, if you're enjoying this track, then just use it. But at the same time, thinking, fuck, I haven't got any permission for this. So I desperately chased after, and it's the most hard. Now, luckily enough, we never personally paid the fee on this one because Nerdist had us over for that year. So they turned around and said, we will pay any licensing fee for the music. But bearing in mind the previous ones, the only ones we'd had before were like a couple of grand tops for the license. Well, the Max one turns out there's him on one label. There was his songwriter for it that was on a different management. There was 2 samples in the songs that were both on different ones. So there was 5 labels and 2 management companies we had to go through.
Oh my God.
I mean, that is kind of one of those things of where like the good thing is the song is awesome and the video turned out really good. We're obviously very judgmental of like everything we make, so
it's like whatever you create, it's never good enough for you, but everyone else is praising you. Like
it was kind of one of those things like, okay, in the end, like all worth all that trouble or whatnot, because we've kind of obviously dabbled with the idea before of like, hey, maybe we'll like get someone to write specific songs for a cosplay video. and that's a whole other like barrel of.
It's trying to find
trouble.
that punch, isn't it? That's the trouble we've always found. Is like to be able to afford someone who put out the quality of songs like that. It's having that punch of it. Like when we use the strike and stuff like that, they really had a,
I think it's probably also the problem that if you sit there and go, I want someone that's as good as like Down with Webster or The Strike or Out of Sight, you sit there and go, oh, well, they're probably going to be as popular as Down with Webster, The Strike, or Out of Sight and established already. So like getting them to write a song for you is a whole nightmare. You would just never, ever, you just need to like strike it lucky. Finding like that one person that can do that stuff,
Yeah, if it wasn't for Nerdist support on that year's one, we couldn't afford
that. Was they witnessed the nervous breakdown that was happening about it, and then just went, look, you know what, there's people from our company in the video as well. Like we'll cover the cost. Like don't worry. And we were just like, are you sure? And then it's fine. Like we have extra budget left over. It's fine.
Put it this way, you could put a deposit down.
Like nah, we're not that. We're not that popular. We're not that sort of thing. Yeah, just like a company, just like we'll pay your fees for you in LA. We were just in LA.
I wish that was always the case.
It's so cool though. Like to know what kind of life that you guys have had so far with where these videos have taken you and stuff.
We've definitely
my friend,
been very.
Daniel has redeemed his Iron Within, so I'll just Iron Within for Daniel every time. I got that idea from a friend of mine. But
we've definitely been very spoiled in some of the areas on that one. I just want to say on that, but it's been crazy.
Honestly,
it was definitely like a real like peak point then. Whenever like stuff on YouTube and like cosplay and stuff like had hit like this crazy like apex point of just being insanely popular for like a couple of years, where it just it was just everywhere. Like every company, everyone was just like cosplay. We gotta have cosplayers.
Well, it's always been funny, isn't it? Like the amount of companies that actually came to us, and I won't name the companies right now, but they're ones that everyone knows, have come to us and said, "Hey, we want to sponsor you for a video, or we want to, because you've seen obviously at the beginning of our videos, the people who help us make them, the trips have always been like, in association with Loot Crate, and they've been really, really great. But some of the companies have come to us and gone, oh yeah, we want to give you like 200 quid to go fly to San Diego, and we're like, we can't afford to do it on 200 quid. You realize
200 quid wouldn't cover. 200 quid wouldn't cover really much of anything. Not
No,
even
no.
How much would a ticket to? How much would you say would a flight there?
Oh, varied.
When we have to book them, about $1,000 each.
Exactly. But then
that's something I was going to ask you, was like, how does this get financed? Like, how do you guys do this? Do you just finance it yourselves, or are you actually?
Pretty
much. Few years, we had the like
the first year
credit cards and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I love the story of the first year, because we were with Machinima at the time as a network.
Oh wow!
And awesome. They were doing all right. We got, long story on that one. That's we could spend a whole whole video on that. But we got brought in to do something else on Machinima that kind of dwindled away. And at the time, Nerdist had just got funding from YouTube. Basically, YouTube were doing a massive push for original content in 2012, 2013. And so they started the Network Alliance, the Nerdist Alliance, which was going to be, it was us, Screen Team, Hillywood, Emergency Awesome.
It wasn't even them at that point. It was literally like Emergency Awesome, us, and like, was it Linda Lee?
Linda Lee, that was the other one.
There was like 3 channels on it, because the reason I know Screen Team weren't on it is because we got Screen Team.
We got Screen Team.
Yeah, because you guys. Yeah, I remember
that. But there was a promise to have this 12 create channels. I mean, bearing in mind, we'd just been with Machinima, where they had at the time something like 11,000 partners, and they were like, Nerdist were like, well, cool. In the contract, they're like, well, join us, and Chris Hardwick's contractually obliged to promote you. And obviously that was at a different time of Chris Hardwick's. We're like, fucking yes, that'll be great. Like he was contractually obliged to tweet us once a month at one point.
Oh, wow. So he kind of had to.
Yeah. And we were like, all right, cool. We'll sign, we signed up. And they basically said, as a signing up bonus, we've got you 2 tickets to San Diego Comic-Con.
When we say tickets, 2 badges.
Two, just the con.
Just the con. That's it.
I got you.
And they're like, if you guys can make it over, then the tickets are yours. And we're like, fuck, this is an opportunity, isn't it? This is a chance of a lifetime. And like literally the next phone call was like to the bank of mum and dad, to the bank, to the overdraft, to the credit card.
There's no bank of that was me like clearing out like my savings from like my last 2 TV jobs. Just like, okay, I can spend all this now, right?
Now West, can I extend my? And we literally, I mean, we're trying to find hotels. You know, to again, the first year and the last couple of years, we've gone to like San Diego very late in the day. So obviously everything's booked up, and especially back in like 2013, 2014, when it was a massive mecca. I think that was kind of, a big peak there where we were looking at like one of the hotels and it was like, oh, the Tuesday's only $70 a night. We can afford $70 a night. It's not It's not cheap, but we could afford that. And then the Wednesday,
day one of the con, it went up to like £1,000 a night.
Oh God, really?
So maybe we stay slightly further out.
Like it shows like the conventions here, even the big ones. Well, for example, a big one to me would be like MCM, for example. That's like the biggest one I've been to. Like tickets are so cheap there compared to the US, but then obviously the US do everything bigger, really.
I mean, San Diego's its own. It's a behemoth, isn't it? Really,
it's its own
they take
thing.
over that town, and so we stayed on a bus journey away.
I mean, the other thing is that like, because we always have to like preface the thing of, especially at the time whenever like we were with Nerdist and whatnot, like we had a lot of people go, oh my God, I really want to go to San Diego Comic-Con. And we got to head to like, first, like, when you guys see us post pictures of San Diego Comic-Con, like what we got there was like this crazy experience of like, not everyone kind of gets, because we were getting invited to like actual parties and stuff. That were like, at one party I was standing talking to who was beside, it was Zach Levi, and
Zach was a great one.
All these like who got introduced to us by a Freddie Wong. Who came over to say hi.
The Zach one just made us chuckle.
Crazy things like happening. Because here's this person, and here's Nathan Fillion, just wandering along and like beside us and whatnot. And it's like, okay, this is insane.
So one of my questions was, which one is your favorite convention? I take it it's that one. It's probably going to have to be San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, there is. It's weird because obviously, like, there are cons we've been to, like San Diego or New York Comic Con or whatnot, that are really cool and really big for that. I think my favorite con is actually that first San Diego we ever went to, where we were just accruing overdrafts to cover it, but it was just like this incredible, like, never experienced anything like that before, or probably will again.
Yeah, I mean, like we were couch surfing, we were sleeping rough on friends' floors. The actual con itself, we were staying away, like as I say, it was a bus journey, and trying to find the cheapest place for food as we possibly could. But I think that whole we got down there on like the Tuesday, didn't we? And I think we went home. Went back up to LA on the Sunday night that year. No, we waited till the Monday, didn't we, that year?
We did the weird thing of we waited and it was dead after.
And I think in that whole time, we must have got 2 hours a night average sleep. Like I took on a second photography job there, so like Gary was trying to start editing some of the footage, or at least doing the technical side of like getting it documented. So we do the con, go back to our place, freshen up, shower, go back to San Diego to do the
get food
industry,
and then
the industry parties, and then do the party.
Industry parties and then parties. This is just the best. Like, this is so cool.
It was insanity. The prime example was, I just remember there being one time where like we got given a hotel room. That was insane. It wasn't exactly super close, but it was close and it was free.
Oh, that was an argument,
which was amazing. But we had this thing where we realized how little sleep we were getting by the fact we didn't actually ever manage to charge our phones up fully.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like we get back in, put our phones on charge, and whenever we wake up to head back to the con, the phones were still on like 60% charged. It was 2 hours sleep, or if that.
We had an argument with one of the people at one of the companies that year, didn't we? Because they got us a hotel room that was on the Gaslamp Quarter, literally the road leading up. If you were to compare it to MCM, it would have been like the hotel would have been above the Fox, and it would be brilliant. Like we're right next to the con, we'll have all our equipment. And then one of the writers turned around and went, "Why are those guys getting that hotel? I want to swap." And because they were more senior, fair enough, they got the swap. So we ended up being in the canyon.
The only requirement was we then got given like a schedule of things that were going on, and those two writers that took the place we were meant to be staying basically rocked up to San Diego about 1 PM every day.
Yeah.
And we were there from like 9:30 in the morning, and we were just like you guys could have stayed where we were, and it would have been no trouble.
No, literally, if they were going to be that late every day, like. But honestly, imagine if there was a hotel above the Fox, that would have been. You wouldn't get any sleep there either, really.
I haven't been in the Fox in years now.
Well, I wanted to go into the Fox, but I can't get my Space Marine through the door. So I kind of wanted to go in cosplay, but my spotters looked at me and were just like, no. And I'm like, okay.
No, bad.
I go into Starbucks, and that's as far as I get in the Fox.
Fair enough.
I need coffee in the morning. That's it.
Oh, God, yeah.
But,
honestly, if I had to ask you guys, what is the best location that you've shot at?
in terms of cons or as a whole?
In terms of in like the location, as in like you've been like, this is the best location. We need to get everyone here because this is the best place to film. Or would you say I'd say like the best location at a convention even? Because I know most people at MCM go to the place where where we met, where all the trees are. I know everyone goes by the side of the.
That used to be like I take for MCM for example. That would always be that we'll just meet people by the tree. The last video we did, if you guys watch it, like I think there's like one shot near the trees because we made an active thing of like we will not shoot by the trees this time.
It's sapped our creativity.
Every shot looks about the same after a while because it's just rows of trees, and then it cuts to another shot at the same row of trees turned the other way.
I mean, it also ties in with the trying to create scenes, didn't it? Like, environment does help hugely.
So yeah, like we found different areas last time. Like, we would just try and find new areas to try and film in because the problem as well with like MCM is with it being like the home turf con.
Yeah,
you're kind of like, okay, well, this is the area you can film, and this is the area you can film, and then you'll find like you'll watch other videographer videos as well, and you'll see the same habit happen that we had, which is this area has a skylight. We'll film here. This area is outdoors by these trees. We'll film here, and then you watch the video and you're like, it's like 150 shots, 4 meters from each other.
Do you ever see yourselves filming someone in the background of somebody else's videos?
Yeah,
because I know that in my one, I know in the shot of me walking towards Nick filming me, you're in the background of it. Like
I'm in the background of a lot
Gary's walking in the background
of our shots. There was a game made of it.
There was a drinking game. Yeah,
there's a drinking game made of it.
Well, someone made a drinking game of it because, like, I would be in the background of shots, and a lot of people didn't realize at certain times I was in the background shots because at one point I'm trying to stop people, and then Nick comes around and I get into shot. Then after people made the drinking game, we decided, well, if people want to make a drinking game of it, we will destroy people's livers if that's what they really want. So there was like me like pulling like little poses in the background of shots and just doing anything to try.
There's one video where he's in it 43 times.
So yeah, you have to do 43 shots if you watch that video.
43 shots, you'd pretty much be paralytic by the end of the video.
Well,
it's what people wanted.
Yeah.
Oh man. What would you say is the best part of the work that you guys do?
Oof.
Like, because the work that you guys do, the people you bring together, the people who genuinely like want to be in your videos, like they'll seek you out and they'll want to be in your videos and stuff. Is meeting them like a part of it, or?
I think for me, there's a lot of good things, so it's really hard to give a single reason. So just to kind of like, I mean, we'll build on it, but like, I love obviously meeting people. Seeing all the amazing skills and abilities that people put into their costumes, having fun with it, and then getting nice reactions to the videos at the end of people turning around and saying, "Look, hey, this video made me." I mean, that's personally that's my goal. If we can make a video that keeps someone smiling for 3 minutes, then great. That's a good goal. But yeah, there's a lot to it. I mean, like I think probably Gary's the same. There's like 4 or 5 different really good reasons, because trust us, there is a lot of pain that goes into these videos, like physically, emotionally, and if it wasn't for the fact that there is a good couple of reasons to do them,
you probably wouldn't be doing.
We would have. Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome, because I mean, you say for 3 minutes, like I've been, I myself, like I've watched that video must be a couple of thousand times by now. Like I go back to it every now and again. I share it every now and again. I'm like, oh yeah, look, I was in the Sneaky Zebra video. Like you kind of have to. Thank you so much for the follow there. I think it's Archer. I'm really bad at reading names out. Like, right, you were saying on your stream the other night, Nick, you were like, I'm so bad at reading names out. I'm like, so am I.
You got to be careful when you read names, because I had some questionable ones that try and like trick you into saying stuff you don't want to say.
It's like, who just followed me? Ivor Biggin. There you go.
Ivor Biggin. Exactly.
All right, no need to brag.
Mostly in live action pixel streams, it's mostly, oh, look, he's come here, he's flexing, he's come to the stream, he's starting to flex now. And I'm like, please don't, I'm not trying. Like, oh, absolutely. How many in total, if you can remember, how many conventions have you guys actually done?
Oh.
I was waiting for a grunt. I was hoping there'd be like a woof. I have no idea.
Like just like not all how many videos, just how many conventions.
How many cons have you been like done in general, like as Sneaky Zebra or the Sneaky Zebra? Do you prefer Sneaky Zebra or the Sneaky Zebra?
We're just Sneaky Zebra. We dropped the. We're like Facebook.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm not gonna lie, because it's the same with me. I'm Iron Warrior Cosplay, but on Facebook, the only thing I could get was the Iron Warrior Cosplay.
We had that problem of there is like one random guy in like Massachusetts or something that has Sneaky Zebra on Facebook.
Yeah,
we managed to get it eventually get it back everywhere else. But yeah, like getting on Facebook is just like near impossible.
Yeah, there's a random group called Iron Warrior Cosplay, and they have their tagline. I'm like, your group isn't even on anymore. Like, God damn it.
There's one UFC fighter in Vegas, and she's called herself Sneaky Zebra.
We kept
several years after us. Yeah,
people tagging you instead of her.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, Sneaky Zebra beats this person. It's like, no, we didn't. We wouldn't do that.
Luckily, no one's ever messaged us from her like administration stuff of like asking like any questions about who we are.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, at least you're not getting a letter like, change your name or else.
Luckily we're like protected for all that stuff. But yeah, it's
con-wise, I think, because like there's been a few years where we did like 7 or 8 cons, didn't we?
I'm trying to, because it used to be like whenever we first started, like LFCC.
Yeah.
And then there was like, it was LFCC. What was the other one?
London Super Comic Con.
Yeah, there was London Super Comic Con, MCM.
Yeah, twice.
And it'd be obviously like the 2 MCMs we'd do in London. There'd be like 2 LFCCs.
WonderCon.
1 year.
WonderCon. Yeah, I keep forgetting about
WonderCon. Maybe. But then what was the other one? The Collectomania. That was the other one.
Collectomania, yeah.
And then the Entertainment Media Show, EMS, we did that as well. That was like all these like ones that don't exist anymore.
Yeah, Eurogamer before it was cool.
They're all vanished now into the.
They've all died off from various like lack of funding or whatever. Just dwindled away, apart from like MCM. And then obviously we did New York, San Diego, Kamikaze.
WonderCon.
The ones in America,
LA Comic Con.
So like compared to here, the ones in America must be so outrageous. Not in a bad way, but like mad, like in the best way.
Oh, like the prime example of one of those ones where I was like, okay, UK cons are tiny and just completely on different sections was whenever I went to Dragon Con for the first time. And like Dragon Con is obviously just a giant cosplayer convention.
I can't believe you went to Dragon Con. That's like the one I want to go to.
It is, we've only done one video there because anytime I go there, it's basically just to get drunk and cosplay.
Good. That's what you should. That's what I do anyway.
That's where you'll find me dressed in cosplay, walking around with a bucket of rum in my hand.
You need to incorporate that in the next costumes.
Yeah, I know. Well, characters need to carry around buckets, but Carl Urban ignored my requests that Billy Butcher should just carry a bucket of rum around in season 2 of The Boys.
Ghostbusters, you fill the proton pack with it. You can drink out the wand.
We did dabble with the idea at one point of doing the Human Busters stuff from the real Ghostbusters cartoon, so we could have the tanks on the back with rum. Just to try, because we had to justify where to put the rum.
Oh yeah, you can't just put it somewhere. I mean, they have a leg hose. Like Ghostbusters have a leg hose. You could just like unplug it. And
leg hose is for some special purposes. Like,
that's for different purposes, but yeah, I mean, I'm still like that's something I wanted to ask you guys. Do you do both of you cosplay then, or is it just like
just me?
Yeah, I've always wanted to, but whenever I've gone to a con, I've always got a camera with me. I think I've only been to like 2 cons that I've never actually had a camera. And even then, I still had a stills camera with me.
You always have some sort of photography equipment with you just in case, like ready to go.
Yeah. I'd love to. I've always wanted to do some. Saying about Carl Urban, I've always wanted to do a Dread, a 2012 one.
That'd be cool.
That would be like if I had money and ultimate cosplay goals, Dread with that.
Yeah, that's a pricey costume.
Exactly. I mean, that's why I know I'll never do that. I wouldn't do like Flint Lockwood from Cloud with a Chance of Meatballs, but now I just think people would mistake it for Rick Sanchez instead.
It's a lot. There's so many Rick and Morty cosplays coming out now. It's great. I love it. Someone's even done. I keep forgetting the name of the dog. You know the episode where the dog gets his balls cut
Snowball.
off? Snowball. Someone's done a full exoskeleton with the dog, and their head is where the dog is.
That was actually that was a friend of ours who did.
Of course.
We filmed him with Harmon and whatnot, didn't we?
Yeah. That was the whole thing, wasn't it? Yeah. He used to be the community guy for 2K, which is, I think, how we got introduced to him. But he was trying to run an activation, so he was doing video game activation at the time, and then also being in the Snowball costume.
Hey, Morgan Riley Gaming is saying, "Hey, dude, hello, Morgan. How you doing?"
Howdy.
Hey.
This one, I'm kind of already jealous because I know someone that you guys have worked with, or maybe it's only Nick who's worked with them. I'm not sure, but you guys have worked with celebrities in the past. You guys have worked with celebrities. You know straight away who I'm on about.
Maybe
you guys have worked with Adam Savage.
Yeah.
Like,
we
a couple of times.
My cosplay hero, literally the man I want to meet. Like. So what kind of celebs have you worked with? Like, sort of go on, start name dropping. Just start dropping. Go for it.
I mean, there's been a real range. So celeb probably is a loose term, but I mean, we Adam Savage. We've done Stephen and Mel. We almost got Ryan Reynolds was.
That
was the reason we got Stephen and Mel.
But by the skin of your teeth. He was our
constellation.
Basically, the dumb story of that one there is one of our friends was interviewing Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool because it was when the Deadpool hadn't come out yet, and he went, "Oh, come outside, hang around outside. I'm gonna get Ryan Reynolds in your video. I'm gonna." So we were hanging around outside, and we were like, "We are not getting Ryan Reynolds, but we'll just on the off chance that something happens." And we didn't get Ryan Reynolds, but while we were standing there, someone standing beside us goes, "What the hell's going on here?" And we're like, "Oh, Ryan Reynolds is in it. Oh, you're Stephen Amell."
That's awesome.
And this is like season 3 of things. So this is when Arrow was still decent.
Yeah, no, I don't worry. I've had that argument plenty of times. Like back when Arrow was good.
Yeah, but we almost did because he apparently, our friend who interviewed him, he agreed to it, but it was his publicist that turned it down because of didn't want to get him outside the room, and it's like,
there's always those people. Like
we've done Amanda Tapping from Stargate. We've done
we've done most of the Stargate cast.
You guys have done so. That's so cool. So many celebrities.
Jason Momoa was a fun one.
Jason Momoa, that's so awesome.
Lena Headey,
she was really cool.
So
are
some of these planned, or are some of them just, for example, like, come out, I've got a celebrity you guys need to meet, and then you just suddenly film with them?
Most of them kind of end up being like that. Sometimes we go along with the plan. Like we had famously at one con, we almost had Hayley Atwell in a video. We were meant to film her on the Friday of the con, and then the organizer of the con can go, no, you can't do it. Just do it Sunday. It'll be easier on Sunday. And then Sunday, we were like, okay, this is going to go badly.
Yeah.
And we showed up on Sunday, and she's like, I am so jet lagged and tired. I don't want a camera point at me right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we were like, yeah, well, that's exactly what we expected.
We said it to the con organizers, hey, because what it was, I think LFCC. We sent them a message and said, look, if you can help us get a couple of these celebrities, then it will help all of us because, we get a cameo in it and stuff. And then that year they were like, oh, no, don't do it like this.
In their promo videos. So it was you guys need shots of guests for these promo videos too. So we'll get the shot of the guest.
Yeah. But it was very much a scratch the back, and then they just didn't listen to anyone because we said, hey, look, we've done a few cons now. Let's film on the Friday. We can allocate a whole day to filming and that. We'll just get all the celebrities. We'll get it out the way. and they'll be all fresh faced and they'll be happy because they haven't had 2 days of con yet, and and then obviously it didn't happen. And
you get like some actors that are just kind of 100% like, you pitch it to them and they go, no, I don't want to do this. Okay, that's fine. You get other ones who are just like, oh, this is pretty cool.
You said about the other day, like the Danny Glover one that you mentioned.
Danny Glover, who filmed, I looked that back up. We filmed 8 shots with him. The first shot was perfect. He kept asking to film again.
See, I was going to ask, have you had any celebs be like, do you get, like, as you said, like, do you have to stay professional, but inside you're doing cartwheels when a celeb comes up and goes, can I be in one of your videos? Like,
I mean, like, so another story about San Diego, like where we were doing some stuff with the Nerdist, they asked us to film some press lines, and both Gary and I had a camera. So like one year, 2014 was the big year, wasn't it, where it killed us, because we'd have the Nerdist camera and I'd have our camera and Gary would have a camera. And
you also got to remember at that point I was like 200 pounds heavier than I am now.
Yeah.
So like San Diego is like 1 billion degrees in heat.
Yeah.
And I'm not in any way remotely decent shape of health, carrying around a tripod and a camera everywhere.
And but we're on these press lines that is full of like BBC and CNN and all that sorts, and we're trying to remain professional because that's all those other camera guys are just there because they're camera guys, weren't they? Yeah. There wasn't anyone who was like geeking out too much, because so you try and be the professional, but inside like you're sitting there going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm just trying to think if there was anyone specifically. There's quite a few, like anybody who's relatively famous that's been on our video, we've had butterflies and geeked out about afterwards. And
I think one of the ones that like Kid Me quite liked, that was a fun one, was we filmed, and obviously like different degrees of thing, was Walter Jones, who was the original Black Ranger in Power Rangers.
Dude, awesome.
We filmed a shot with Walter, and it was like, okay, we filmed it, and then the next day we were just wandering along and he ran down the aisle and grabbed us and went, dude, you got to come by the booth. I've got David Yost there, like come film another shot.
Oh, that's so cool. Like the fact that he was that excited to just, that's the thing. You guys have this thing where people meet you and then all of a sudden you're just like, they see your stuff and they meet you guys, but you expect like people who have done like San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con and people who've met all these celebrity stuff, you expect them to be like, they think they're much better than everyone, but you guys are so level-headed and so just
I will say the celebrity one now, just remember it, the one that I will nerd out at, and it wasn't even said to us, it was, I don't know if you remember this, Nick, but Carl.
Yeah.
So Carl, our buddy Carl, he was a body double for David Tennant in a couple of those Virgin Media ads.
Oh, wow.
That he used to do. So he like his cosplay level reached a certain point, but he cosplayed the Doctor.
And he looked like the Doctor as well.
And he'd been in a few of our cosplay videos before as the Doctor. And LFCC, I think it was LFCC.
Yeah.
Billy Piper was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll be in the video."
Oh my god,
okay, Billy Piper, and it was like, "Oh, we'll team her up with Carl for a shot." So we'll have Carl standing there in his 10th Doctor, and we'll have Billy Piper beside him. And we were filming the shot, and Carl came over after us, and Carl was like, "Dude, the coolest thing just happened." And I was like, "What is?" She was talking to me there. I was like, yeah. He goes, okay, yeah, Billy Piper was talking. He goes, no, she watched the videos. And I was like, what do you mean she watched the video? Because she went to me, oh, yeah, you were in the other one with the girl in my pink dress from the ad. He was just like, wait, what?
That's the coolest thing. Oh, my God. See, this is so insane. Oh, see, I'm not going to lie. I have, like, when Nick was just like, oh, yeah, I'll get Gary to jump on as well if you want. And I was just sat at my desk like, am I going to get Sneaky Zebra on my Twitch? Right? Literally just started. I only have like 130 odd followers, but here I am, like sat here with Sneaky Zebra. It's just the coolest thing.
Oh, dude, it's all good. The saying about the celebrity one, the one that I actually also love was the first time, and I'll preface it, the first time was Garrett fucking Wang. And we have to call him, that's his full name. Yeah. So we pulled them out just literally a second after they'd done a panel, and we didn't know. There was a ton of people. We were just like, maybe we'll just get you to wave at the camera, something simple. And we filmed the shot. We showed it back to him, and they're waving at the camera. And he goes, "Oh, this is slow-mo. Oh, let's do something more cool." And I went, "Okay, cool. What?" He goes, "I don't know. We'll make it up as going." He was with Nicole DeBoer.
Yeah, who was Esri Dax on DS9.
And
I'm not sure. I'm quite good with. I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not sure about
But they literally the second time he flew backwards and did the agent from the Matrix style.
Oh wow!
Neo reacting to the agent
Shooting him.
shot.
The bullet type stuff.
And he was so happy with that. And then every time we met him afterwards, he's up the stakes now. But the fun thing was that we were driving in LA a couple of years later, and we get a tweet out the blue. So after meeting Garrett Wang a couple of times and doing these fake posters, Gary made these fake movie posters of them, and they're up on our Instagram and Twitter somewhere. And out the blue, no prompt at all. Was it Michael Dorf? Am I saying that right?
Who plays Worf? Yes.
Who plays Worf? Tweeted us. I'm driving along, so I've got like my car, my phone up for the sat nav, and I see the tweet come up. Michael Dorf just tweeted you, and he tweeted about the posters. Obviously, somewhere in the world, Garrett Wang is going around showing the rest of his Star Trek mates the posters that Gary made, and obviously to a point where they've tweeted out about it.
I just love that though.
Terrible
just
fake
sentence,
movie posters.
I was just driving in LA that one time.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I mean, driving in LA sounds cool, except for whenever you know the reality of driving in LA.
Is it really? Is it as bad as they say it is?
Oh, I mean, there was one of our friends who mocked a thing, which is like, I think Facebook had just started doing live videos. Was it Facebook that was doing live, or was it Periscope or whatever it was? But he'd go, "Oh, Sneaky Zebra's live." Because you guys only ever go live when you're stuck in traffic, is what he worked out. And there's literally because we were just stuck in the car for like an hour trying to get anywhere.
Yeah,
and not moving.
Like
we just live stream.
Like an hour stuck in traffic.
I mean, you can get to.
Day.
It's exactly like London. You can get to anywhere in LA, just depending on the time, in 20 minutes.
We drove the same journey at like 2 a.m. once, and it literally took like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
But in the morning, it took us near 2 hours one day to get to like downtown.
There was one day where we got asked to have a meeting with a friend of ours at, I'm going to name drop a bit here, a friend of ours at Lionsgate. And we were in North Hollywood, which is right down, and he's in Santa Monica. And literally went, "Oh, is like 9:30 okay for you?" And we asked him, like, could it be any other time? Because that involves going. It basically be like trying to say, "Hey, I want to drive past Heathrow at 8:30 in the morning."
Oh God! So chock-a-block, can't move.
Yeah, and he's like, "No, that's the only time." It's like, all right, fine. So we got up early and went and found breakfast there and stuff.
I mean, literally, we got there about 15 minutes before like the meeting time that we'd set, and it was kind of one of those things like we left 2.5 hours before that.
Yeah, exactly. Knowing that we've done that same journey, because there was a quite nice milkshake shop around the corner. We've done that at 2 a.m. and managed to do all right.
I know my mod has all the links for you guys, so if my mod can just drop all the links, I've literally copy and pasted all your links to your.
I've seen them being posted, so I appreciate that.
My mod's awesome. Like she's great. She does an amazing job. What I do is before the stream, I get a notepad document, I copy all the stuff in with all the tags, and then just post them to her, and then she can post them as we stream.
Nice.
I'm not gonna lie, we have reached the hour mark, but I have got one or two more questions to ask you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
What are your guys like? Is this your full-time job? Like, is this what you guys do? Is this your living, or is
No.
We'd love it to be. It's a goal. It's a dream one day, but I mean, especially in the current world at the moment. Stuff like
but like forgetting like the whole this bad time we're going through now. What are your day jobs then? You don't actually. This is just something you do on the side.
Yeah. So I work as an editor most of the time. So like the last couple of, I used to work in film and TV stuff, which I keep trying to get back into, but as everybody knows, film and TV is kind of dead at the moment, along with everything else. So getting back into that is a real nightmare. But I cut a lot of commercial stuff, so I worked for Xbox a lot. So like the Xbox Game Pass ad campaign, I did all of.
Oh wow, that's
stuff.
awesome.
So yeah, there's a lot. It's kind of cool, less creatively fun than this stuff, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
But it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's great. Like just finding out stuff like that. Like, oh, by the way, I did the ad campaign for this. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's also like one of those things of where like if you ever like is obviously with corporate things as well, you're like, I don't know if I'm allowed to tell people. Like I cut a couple of trailers last year for TV spots, but I had to sign paperwork to say I'm not allowed to tell anyone what I worked on.
Was that like an NDA for like, before they came out, and then afterwards you can tell people, or can you still not tell people?
Literally, some of these ones are you just can't tell anyone.
That's crazy.
That you ever had anything to
can't
do
even
with.
put it on your CV.
Yeah, like I have the one of Nick's jobs that he's seen. He's seen a few of the things I worked on. Like once they eventually got sold, is I worked for an ad agency doing trailers for films that were shit. So I had to make them sellable.
Is that the technical term? Is that the technical term for it?
I haven't worked for them for like a year, so like I'll just say that. But yeah, they was like, here's a movie with like Noel Clarke in it and Kobe Smulders and these people, and it's like, it's bad. Like we don't know how to sell this. Like, can you make a trailer to sell the film? And like with those, they like make you sign NDAs through the roof, because the last thing they want is doing what I just did, which is telling people that the film is shit.
I can understand that. I can see
before
that
Amazon get tricked into buying it and then realize they've bought a pile of crap.
I will say what I'll do is I'll make this the last question, because obviously I know you guys have got to go off and do stuff. Can I ask what is what is your favorite franchise personally? Like, for example, Star Wars, Star Trek. I kind of I don't even know why I asked it.
I'm easily tricked.
That is a tough one. I think I'd probably say it's a very, very tough one between Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah.
It's definitely not DC.
Fair. That's that's understandable. I know there's a big fight going on between Marvel and DC.
No, I mean, jokes aside, I do enjoy. Gary saying this the other day, about the difference between being into fantasy and being into sci-fi. I think there's some great sci-fi been out in the last few years. Obviously, yeah, they've had a lot of like superhero movies, franchise-wise. But yeah, I think if a gun was to my head, it'd probably be Marvel, and that's purely just because of Rocket Raccoon. He would win that. But I don't know. I mean, BD1, anything small, furry, or robotic, and I'm all about it. And that just sounded quite.
So if you Borgify an Ewok, he's in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
just make it half Ewok, half robot. You'll be like, done. That is me done. Well, can I just say, like, the biggest thank you to you guys for coming to this very small time Twitch stream.
Dude, seriously.
Like, honestly, it's great because, like, if at some point in the future you guys get super big, I can just be like, but one time I had them, I had them on my Twitch before they got super big.
We did that years ago when we were doing sketches and not a lot else. There would always be one guy who commented, Freddie Wong could do this better. And this is pretty much like Freddie was at his peak.
I forgot about this.
Yeah,
oh, God.
Right. So every week or every other week, we'd put up a sketch, and every fucking time, Freddie Wong could do this better. And this is when like Rocket Jump and Corridor Digital were very much at their peak and putting out the top quality stuff they were. And one year we've had Freddie in a couple of videos now, a couple of cosplay ones, but we had him in specifically a video which Gary wrote for him called The Wong Way. So it was designed to have Jimmy and Freddie Wong in the video. And it's an action short, and it was shot around the Nerdist office, and it's really fun, and we really like it personally, considering we had like half a day to shoot it and all that stuff.
And like
I
Freddie
remember watching these stuff, like
but it was such a great payoff of the person like Freddie Wong could do this better. It's like, Freddie Wong is in it.
We've got him in it because we're friends.
I was actually vindictive and hunted down this person's comments and sent him a message and was like, pretty much like, if I could play the Black Keys, like, how do you like me now? Music whilst commenting.
Honestly, I get where you're coming from, because I've had my fair share of the same sort of stuff. Maybe not with like a celebrity zone, but like more towards me personally. But the fact that you guys have worked with Freddie Wong is so cool, like that, because he is awesome.
He was definitely a big inspiration for us to start the channel. Certainly to go down the route of making YouTube stuff. Because again, at the time when we were starting to do it, 2010, 2011, 2013, they were putting out phenomenal stuff that was, putting out these great sketches and these great high production quality shorts. And obviously we found out a lot of the secrets behind them now, but they were really inspiration and mind blowing for us. And it's just a shame that YouTube as a platform doesn't support those type of makers anymore.
Yeah, I saw someone comment of like Freddie Wong. There's a name I've not heard in a long time, and it's like, he would rather you had heard his name more recently. But...
Yeah, it's not through lack of his skill or trying that. Yeah.
I still love his videos. Like there's one I really like specifically. Where back when I was like more into playing bass and stuff, which was the bass battle video that he did.
Yeah,
that one's really cool, and like that's just one that's happened to have stuck with me for a while because like I absolutely loved it. I would think it was. So
like one of the first times we went out to LA, we actually went down. I mean, obviously Corridor Digital is still down that way, but we actually went down to the street where he used to film all the shorts, didn't we?
Do you mean where we took a bunch of pictures underneath the freeway?
Yeah,
like little nerds.
Like crime scene investigators. This is where she was murdered.
It's like that scene in Brooklyn Nine-Nine where they go to the Die Hard, the Nakatomi Plaza. Just like, here's the door. He said in front of this and did this up. Take me a picture of.
Yeah,
it's the window.
Thing is though, like I know for a fact that I would be like that because I want to go to New York City and take a picture in front of the firehouse where the Ghostbusters. You guys have probably been there, knowing you.
I cosplayed in front of it in our New York Comic-Con video in my Ghostbusters flight suit because I dragged Nick out at 5:30 in the morning.
5:30 in the morning after 3 solid days of filming and aching. And to be honest, I mean, Gary is obviously a much bigger nerd than me when it comes to especially like Ghostbusters. But like at the same time, I'm like, yeah, actually, this is pretty damn cool. But he's like, I'll go myself and get a selfie.
Yeah, that was my first ever cosplay. Is I built a proton pack. I built 5-glass shell proton pack, wired it all up. Which I had to sell. I sold a few years ago whenever I was in some monetary trouble.
That's a shame. Because I cosplay as a Ghostbuster as well instead of just the Space Marine. I do a bunch of other ones, but the Space Marine's the main one now. But I have a Ghostbusters cosplay like full tilt. Like it's got 225-watt speakers in it and a car amp.
There's my
blasts the music and stuff out.
My PKE sitting there.
You know what, right? You're literally holding in your hand something that's worth no money. Sort of like it costs so much now. Like if you were to sell that as is without the box, it's so stupid how much they cost.
Well,
now.
I mean, the thing is, I was one of the few people who had a PKE before because there's a company called Hyperlabs that made lighting kits.
Yeah, there's
electronics.
Hyperlabs,
I had a PKE meter with a Hyperlabs kit inside of it.
Nice.
It must have cost me about £500 to build.
And then Matty came out with their collector version that you've got there. But I've actually got the same Matty version, but I've got a kit that goes in mine that gives it the Ghostbusters audio from the movie.
Oh, I did not even know people made those mods. I need to investigate.
Hey, if you want, now that we're friends on Facebook, give me a message and I'll link him to you. He still sells them, and it's it's literally 4 wires and a little thing and a bit of glue, and you're done. Like it's amazing.
That is upsettingly simple.
Yeah, no, seriously, he's insanely intelligent, and he has made so many modifications for all his different stuff. And he sells these little kits, and he sent me one for free to test it because I was supporting his page, and he sent me one for free to test it, and I put it in and tested it for him, and I said that the batteries drained. The batteries would drain like that in like 20 minutes. If you left the batteries in, it off, and left the batteries in, it would no longer work. It would drain the batteries. So what he did then was he put a little magnetic shut-off sensor in it, so when you put it back in your holster, the other magnet that you put in on your holster
would cut the contact
cuts the contact. So that's how he got around that. So he was just like, no, you don't have to pay me, keep it. You help me work it out and whatever. And like and it's so easy to put together as well. It's really easy. You get the whole kit in a little baggie, like a little drug baggie, like a little plastic thing. It's really easy to put together.
No, it's one day I've got to rebuild a new proton pack because I am still very sad.
Because if you need a Ghostbuster, let me know. Like I cannot stress how much I love Ghostbusters. Like the new film was meant to come out this year.
I know it was meant to come out like a week ago.
Yeah,
that is my prediction for San Diego Comic-Con weekend at the end of this month. Is they will drop a full trailer.
Oh, don't! I hope they do. God, I hope they do.
Because someone said, why didn't they do it for Ghostbuster Day? I think they were holding out.
Yeah, because I think it would have been too easy to drop it then. They got to wait, got to sweeten the pot a bit. But like,
so because it's everybody's like, oh, but it's Ghostbusters Day. It's like, yeah, but Sony Pictures are probably sitting there going, well, what do we have that we can release?
Yes, exactly.
We need something to get some buzz around the internet that weekend.
There's so much. I could go on for like another 3 hours talking to you about Ghostbusters, but I know you guys have stuff to do. But
we've got our own live stream to sell.
Exactly. You guys got a live stream coming up soon.
Oh shit, we got a plan for that.
Yeah, all the links are in the chat for you guys. Their YouTube, their Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, all that stuff. It's all there. If you guys want to jump through links to your own personal stuff, like I know Live Action Pixel, you guys want to jump those links in, you're more than welcome to.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I mean, I do some streaming called Live Action Pixel, but the main stuff is all Sneaky Zebra. So
yeah, I just use Sneaky Zebra.
You guys are the Sneaky Zebras. I love it. Oh yeah, and then obviously there's mine as well.
No, you don't get yours.
I don't get those. But genuinely, can I just say a huge thank you to you guys, because since like the first time I ever met you guys, I've just been properly in love with you guys, even more so knowing that you are so down to earth and so chill. And now to have you both on Facebook is even better. I could be like, I've got them as friends on Facebook.
You can see how boring we really are.
yeah.
Hardly. But yeah, everyone, give it up for Nick, Acott, and Gary Scullion again, please. And genuinely wanted to say thank you so much for joining me. And if you guys want to do a part 2, let me know. And I'll happily do a part 2 with you guys, because I have a feeling we can go on for another 2 hours easy.
Yeah, no, I'd happily chat again. I mean, it's also fun just seeing and talking to people that I haven't spoken to 1,000,001 times in 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
Other humans.
But genuinely, I really hope I get to see you guys at MCM again, and we'll have to work something out. But thank you again, and we'll see you all again soon.
Cool.
All right, take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye for now.